Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to simplify and secure bill pay. That's proven financial infrastructure built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Hello and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a psychotherapist. I'm the psychotherapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
All right. So today we are doing the beginning of our rewatch of Sister Wives. We've been threatening this for a while now since, that season 17 was so good and so many people are talking about it. That we decided we were going to go back to season 1, episode 1. We're going to review that, which is Meet Cody and the Wives. And then we're also, stay tuned, because we're also going to be talking about the latest Sister Wives gossip.
Yes.
So just to give you a heads up, each time we're going to continue to review the show and then just add in some sprinklings of what's been happening currently. Before I get started, we are a growing podcast and we would love more subscribers.
Yeah.
Just being vulnerable and putting it out there.
Just putting it out there. And our Sister Wives people, we are your people.
Yes.
And,
Yes, we are.
Yes, we love Sister Wives. We try to review other shows,
but it always keeps coming back to Sister Wives.
Sister Wives. This is our first love.
Yes.
So if you love the Sister Wives as much as we do and you want us to keep talking about it in whatever form it takes, if you subscribed, that would really help us immensely.
That way, you would get it in your feed every week.
Yeah, so you'll never have to go searching for it or
think to yourself, where did I download Psych Legal Pop this week?
Yeah, where am I going to get my Sister Wives gossip? It's right here in your app, there.
Yes, exactly. And if you enjoy the show, please give us a 5-star review. And all right. So, Sister Wives, episode 1, season 1, episode 1, Meet Cody and the Wives. And I think that it took me till the end of the episode to figure out how they structured the show. This first show is we meet just high level, we meet Cody, we go into the house, we see sort of this overview, and then we go through each wife's day, the day of the big announcement, right? So it's Cody's got a big announcement. So we see Mary, that's Mary's day. We see Janelle's day, and we see Christine's day, and then we see the big announcement at the end. So it was it took me a minute, and then they cut it with scenes of everyone doing yard work.
Yeah. Well, first we get treated to a scene of Cody and his Lexus.
Oh, yes. That was driving in his car.
Yeah. And so, the producer, film camera person, whatever, is obviously in the passenger seat. And Cody's talking about how, I can't wait for you to meet my family. I think you're really going to love them.
Yeah. Well, he does get into the whole, they're part of this faith. His faith recommends multiple wives. Kind of prepping us.
Background.
Yeah.
Well, when you say the announcement, what is
the big announcement?
The announcement about Robin.
Yes, okay. That's the quote unquote big announcement. But in the show, they're teasing it. Cody's got a big announcement.
Okay.
So obviously the other wives know what the big announcement is, but the kids didn't.
Right.
So, we get intro to Cody, and then we see Cody go into the house, and the first kid that we meet is Savannah.
Oh,
cute little Savannah. She's like 4. She runs up to see her father, and he picks her up, and Gabe's there too, and Janelle is there. And then he kind of does this thing where he, hi, Janelle, they hug and kiss. And then he's like, then he opens a door. He walks through Mary's house. She's there. This is Mary and this is, Leon. And then he like goes down the stairs, down to Christine's basement.
And I think he doesn't he kiss all of them?
Yes. Yes.
You got to get that kiss in.
Yeah. And then he goes down and he meets Christine.
Literally goes down into the basement.
Into the basement to meet Christine. And then they give us this little overview, which is he's been married to Mary 20 years and they have one child who's 14. He's been married to Janelle for 17 years. They have 6 children ranging from 5 to 15. They said 5 to 15. I thought she was a little 4 then. So that was Savannah. He's been married to Christine 16 years and they have 5 kids and it ranges from 6 to 14 with one on the way. And then they describe the house, which was built by a polygamist, which is why it was such a great house for them. And they start to get right into, they raise their families as siblings, as kids. They eat together 3 times a week. They're a fundamentalist Mormon family. So he said that's not LDS and it's not the FLDS, that it's a separate division.
Yeah, it's like an offshoot of FLDS, I believe. The AUB, I can never say the first apostolistic or something like that, United Brethren.
Oh, is that their church?
Yeah.
AUB?
Okay. Yeah.
They never mention it in the show.
Yeah,
are they not supposed to?
I don't know. I always felt like they downplayed the details. They just basically said, yeah, we're polygamists. And they didn't give a lot of background or context.
Yeah. So, and then we learn about Cody. He grew up in North Wyoming. So this is his story at this stage, which is at 20, his dad converted. We don't hear anything about marrying Janelle's mom.
Converted to
this.
The AUB.
AUB.
Okay.
But he doesn't say AUB, this religion. He kind of sort of says that. And then at 21, he got interested in it. So he went to the church, so this AUB church, and met Mary. Yeah. And that's how it started. He's in ad sales, whatever that means. We don't know what that means. And then the big thing is they really want people to know this because obviously at this time, everyone in the news was talking about the FLDS, right? About
Warren Jeffs.
Keep Sweet. Is it Warren Jeffs? Yeah. Warren Jeffs.
Sure, I don't think that's the right. Let me look it up.
They were talking about this. So they were very focused on, kind of laughing at themselves. They would call themselves plague humor.
It is Warren Jeffs.
Yeah. And they want their kids, they're very straightforward. They want their kids to get educated. They want them to do what they're happy, marry for love, all of those things. And then they answer the sex questions. Cause I remember them saying in an interview, like in the first, we read this in the book, right? They wanted to get the sex stuff out of the way to begin with. They just wanted to name it. They basically, just said, we're not all having sex together. Cody has a relationship individually with each of us. And we're not,
Yeah.
There's nothing else going on.
Mary said, we don't do weird. That was her way of describing it. But yeah, they were trying to distinguish themselves from Warren Jeffs because he was a rapist, child rapist, and, keeping these women basically prisoners on a compound. And he went to prison, thank God.
Good.
For the
I
rest,
hope he's having a horrible time.
Yeah.
And then we hear about Cody's big announcement. And then that's what I'm saying. It took me the whole time to watch this whole thing. I was like, it's each of their lives in a day. Oh, okay. It's all coming together now. So first we meet Mary. Let's see. That Cody was 22, Mary was 19. They were only, together for 6 months. They met through,
less than that, I think.
They met through his sister or her sister.
Somebody's sister.
Oh, Mary's sister, sorry. And Mary, of course, was raised in a polygamous family. They only have one child. She expected more. This is where she says, she never went to school. So now she's going into psychology for at-risk youth. That's why in the book, I was like, where did this come from? But this is what she was going back to school at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, because they showed her with some books.
Yes.
Looking at some textbooks.
Because she was trying to study and know what she can't study. And then we see this whole scene with Mary pulling out Peyton's tooth and then like aggressively running after Gwen to pull her tooth and, really tormenting poor Gwen. Eventually she does pull Gwen's tooth and it wasn't that bad, but it was really like, just kind of leave her alone.
Yeah.
Like, why are you guys following her around everywhere? But this is where they say that Mary's the one that like meets the women. So Mary's the bait. She's the one that signs up all the wives.
They said that?
Yeah. They said Mary's the bait.
Oh, geez.
And then she gets into, her own sister who died of cancer and that her sister Teresa, who died of cancer, had a sister wife. And because of the sister wife, she was, well taken care of in the last stages of her life. And that they know that Teresa knows that her children are going to be cared for by someone that really knows them and loves them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the great things.
That might be
about
the
it.
only benefit of having a sister wife, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
Now that we know
that Janelle gets in, because then we meet Janelle.
Care. Yeah.
Yeah, we then meet Janelle, and Janelle says that she is gone most days from 6:15 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. So basically Christine was taking care of how many kids? 12 kids.
Well, Logan was taking care of the kids in the morning.
Yes.
Remember how, well, I'm sure you'll probably get to that.
Yeah.
But but why was she working
that's a long
more
hours.
than 12 hours a day?
I get the feeling that she was commuting far.
Oh. Or maybe she had a couple jobs?
No, I think she had one job. She had a government job.
Right.
We learned that in the book. So I bet you anything they lived in this Lehigh.
She's probably going to Salt Lake.
Yeah, and I don't know how far that is, but she's probably leaving at 6:15. She probably has to be at work at 8. Then work ends at like 5. If she has to work late, she's there till 6, and then it's another hour plus to get back. So she said sometimes as late as 7. I don't think it's that late every night.
Every day, yeah.
But she tells her story. She grew up in the mainstream Mormon church. She then says, I met Mary's family when I was 19. So what she didn't say was I met Mary's family because I married Mary's brother and I got married.
She left that part out.
Yes. And then 22, she thought that Cody was a good choice and she just did it. Like, it was basically like, yeah, this look seems good.
Yeah. It's funny now knowing everything that we know, these simplistic explanations that they give. I mean, obviously they can't go on and on about it, but yeah. And it took all of us fans digging,
to learn the truth.
You're trying to like Homeland, trying to connect the dots on the cork board,
Yeah, and then this is where we see Logan waking up a half hour earlier than all of his siblings to cook breakfast. At first, I was like, does he cook breakfast for all the kids? But he just cooks breakfast for his 5 younger siblings. Right. And I remember the first time I watched this was the moment where I was like, oh my God, like that is a lot.
And he's like, waking them up, getting them out of bed, making sure they get dressed, brush their teeth.
Savannah is 4 or 5 years old. She is a little baby.
Yeah.
And he is getting her up. You see him getting her up, making everybody food, eggs, cooking for them, cleaning, doing this, doing that.
And then he has to go off to high school.
Yeah. And then he's going off to like chem lab or something. I mean, it's crazy. But this is where it works well because Janelle tells us she's always been a career person and this allows her to have children and work outside the home. And that's the thing. I mean, the one good thing about Sister Wives is truly the fact that all women need 90 helpers. It does take a village to raise a child. It does take a lot of help, a lot of people, a lot of hands. And, that's the one good thing about Sister Wives.
Yeah, although if you just had 2 kids instead of 6.
Yeah, if each person in the family had 2 kids.
It'd be a lot less stress. I mean, you still need the help.
Yeah.
But it would be a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
Logan wouldn't be cooking for all these people.
Logan wouldn't be having to take on be parentified, you know?
Yes. So then we now meet Christine. So it goes back to the, and Janelle kind of alludes to, well, he has a big announcement tonight. And then we go back to Christine and we learn about Christine. She has 5 kids, 1 on the way. She always knew she was going to live the plural life, as we all know. We see Christine makes Cody breakfast, but she won't use a toaster.
She said toasters kill more people than
sharks.
How do you, because you get electrocuted?
Yeah, I guess she said some stat like sharks killed 3 people last year, but a toaster killed 257 or something like that. But then she's like, but she still wants toast. So she puts the bread in the oven and of course burns the toast.
Yeah.
So again, the toaster would pop up and it would finish cooking.
Stop the burning. Yeah.
So she decided at 19 to enter into plural family. She always wanted to be a third wife. We all know this. And that she goes back, she's the one that's been mothering all 12 of the kids and she keeps the home running. And they were homeschooled up until 5 years ago. So Christine was teacher, mom, teacher.
And worked.
Cook, caretaker.
Here and there, work.
Chef,
everything.
Maid, everything. But now they go to this plural church school.
Well, some of them go to public school.
At this point?
I think so.
Because they said all of them go to this plural school. So it's very used because they go to this school, they're so used to being with other people who are polygamists.
Oh, well, I thought that only Leon was the last one who went to that school and the other kids went to public school. But whatever.
Yeah, again, here's a discrepancy. Yeah. And then everyone keeps talking about the big announcement. What's the big announcement? What is it? Well, Cody's courting again, people.
Oh, God.
And we introduce Robin. Robin's 30. She's got 3 kids. She grew up in the lifestyle. So then we see the infamous Janelle and Mary being like, yeah, I always felt like maybe there would be one more. Maybe that'd be good. And Christine thought that was insane. And anytime Mary or Janelle ever brought up the idea of another wife, Christine was like, nope, that's crazy. I don't like that at all. And then, so he makes this big announcement to all the kids, like, do you guys know Robin? Do you
remember Robin?
Yeah.
And so they're kind of like, yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And you played with Robin's kids? Did you like that? It was like, okay, buddy. It was just weird.
Do you think she's nice? Or no, you think she's nice, don't you? Like he's leading questions here.
Very leading questions. And all the kids, and then he tries to say something like, well, I'm courting her, but we can't tell anybody anything. And poor Gwen's like, what? What is happening here? And like Christine then has to explain it to Gwen.
In plain English.
Yeah. But all the kids were happy. Actually, Leon was the one that wasn't very happy. It was that's very interesting that Leon wasn't happy about it. And then Mary admits that there are some jealousy issues, as we learn in the book. So I think this is the stage where things with Cody and Robin were getting more and more hot and heavy. And I think this is when Mary felt like there was a lot of jealousy issues.
Well, yeah, because Mary's honeymoon period is over with Robin.
Yes.
Do they? And I don't think they say anything in this episode about how they met. We barely see
Robin in this.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah. They don't go into detail. It's just like, here's Robin. They don't even really explain that she lives 5 hours away.
No, they do in this one. Yeah. So basically, we see everyone do their nightly prayer. Everyone goes to bed, and then Christine again admits she's very hesitant about having a new wife in the family. Mm-hmm. And then we see him leave to go to Robin's house, where he says she's 4 hours away. Maybe she was 5. And
well, wait, can we go back for a second?
Yeah.
Did he say that he just said he was courting Robin? He didn't say that he was going to ask her to be part of the family.
No, because
did that come later?
Yeah, because the kids were like, well, wait a minute, does this mean a new wife? Or I'm with Gwen. It was a little confusing what he was saying, because he was like, well, do we're a family of, what were they at that time? 17 or something like that. And like, do you want to add 4 more people to our family? I think there were 19 people. Sorry. With Truly. And he's like, well, do you want to add 4 more people into our family? And the way he made it seem like, well, this is a done deal. We're going to get engaged. But then when they were asking, that's like, well, we're not engaged.
Okay.
So they weren't engaged at this point.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. But the last scene is him packing up that Lexus, going down to wherever she was, St. George, to see Robin. Robin comes out. She's laughing. She's like kind of nervous and, weirded out by the cameras. And then we see the two of them go on a date together. And that's the end of the episode.
Well, and doesn't he give her like some ring made out of a piece of string or something?
I think that's season 1, episode 2. The ring. So it is a little confusing because I thought they were engaged by the time we got here. Right? Like I thought they were.
That announcement I thought was the engagement announcement.
No, the announcement, I think the announcement was to tell the kids like daddy's courting this woman, and I got the vibe that the older teenagers kind of knew what was going on because obviously he's leaving to go down there for 4 or 5 hours. He mentioned that Gwen was there playing with Robin's kids.
Yeah, because he took the kids, some of the kids with him periodically on these trips, I think mostly to babysit. He took the older girls to babysit so he and Robin could spend time together. But yeah, and the older kids know how this works. They're not stupid. But yeah, I think it was very confusing for the younger kids.
Yeah, I think that, obviously all the wives knew. And the way the wives were talking, it was a bit of a done deal. Mm-hmm. But the way in which he was describing it to the kids, it was courting. And he really didn't he did not say engaged.
Which they probably don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, because he married the three of them so long ago and in quick succession, these kids don't know. They never had a wife come in before.
Yeah.
They have always just been three. These are my moms and all my siblings. So this must be really traumatic for these kids.
Yeah, very traumatic. Plus you've got a camera crew in your living room and your dad is telling you can't tell a lot of people,
right, you can't tell anybody. And actually in one of the things that I wrote down from when I was watching Gwen's YouTube reactions, and she answers questions that people send in, and one of the questions was, "What was your first memory of the show?" And or what do you remember from the show? Something like that when you were young. And she said her first memory was, and we see this scene. She says, "My mom comes in to wake me up for school, and I wake up and there's this huge light in my face, from the camera, and she's just kind of like." What is happening? And she said she was very confused. She didn't understand what was happening. I mean, the whole thing, when you think back and you look back at it, super traumatic for these kids.
Well, what's interesting too is I was doing my own for the first time, like going back and watching these episodes. And in my other rewatch phase, I'm, at the catfish phase and the fallout from it. And there's one of these tell-alls with Tamron Hall, they bring Truly out. And then they want Truly to say something to the camera, or they tell everyone we're going to be right back. And Truly kept saying, but the cameras aren't here. I'm not supposed to look at I don't know that the cameras are here. I don't notice them. Yeah. So Truly, and she was 5 at that time. So she is so trained so well because Truly's, birth was filmed. Truly has no memory of life before these cameras.
God, her whole life has been on this show.
Yeah. Truly Grace Brown. Ooh. Yeah. And that was that. And so this episode was 42 minutes. And then the other, next episode is 20, one of those 22. And then, so a lot of the things that you're remembering did happen. They're just not, it's the next episode. Right. So they kind of left us on this cliffhanger where it's Cody's out with this new woman and look at them. They're having hot chocolate together.
Yeah. So maybe next time we'll do a couple episodes.
Yeah, maybe we can. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
So now so that was season 1, episode 1. Now we have some gossip. And Brooke really, is a little investigator here. She's much better. You're much better at finding the gossip. I was on TikTok last night on toxicity. Couldn't find anything new or interesting. I was on Gwen's thing, but it was just her rewatches. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I was just I did look. I just don't have your investigative abilities.
Well, yeah. And, my stuff comes from all over the place. And anytime I hear something, I jot it down. And I don't know, maybe some of this is really boring and nobody cares. But, I think one of the themes of this latest gossip about the show is the kids who are now almost all of them are adults. So, you know,
I mean, Truly
and
is...
Savannah. Well, so I think Savannah's 18. She just turned 18.
Yeah. Truly's 12, 13.
She's the only minor. And basically these... Well, besides Robin's
I would think
kids.
Brianna, I think, is also a minor.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's it. Her other two kids are adults too. So,
but the kids who were primarily they've all been on the show the whole time. Anyway, most of the kids are legal adults. And the thing is, when the show started, these kids had no choice but to participate in this.
Mm-hmm.
And they never got paid.
Yes.
And from what I understand, TLC, or the production company, Puddle Monkey, they paid Cody, and they paid Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided, you know, what money to give to the wives, if any.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, there was this real... They're now all having these feelings like, God, you know, it's like, I never got paid anything. I had no choice in the matter. Now my life is just out there. Some of them are, I think, taking advantage of that and are okay with it, but some of them are not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of a big mess. And I think some other, what show was it? Some other kids who are now adults from a reality show were talking about the similar thing. Oh, the John and Kate +8 kids.
Oh, yes. I've seen that. And that show, oh boy.
Oh.
We should talk about that. That show is a doozy too.
That woman is something else. And yeah, her kids are now all over the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking. And the fact that older two, the twins, Maddie, I think, is the one who she speaks out a lot. And yeah, she's pissed.
Yeah.
You know, it was not good for her life. But anyway, so where should I start? Maybe I'll start
wherever.
With some kind of big news. Christine has a boyfriend.
Yes, that's very exciting. I'm very happy.
Yes, very exciting. And of course, all the internet sleuths have found him.
Yeah. I think he's cute. Someone said like, oh, he's bald. He's not cute or whatever. I think it was Ace and Caitlin from Shit Talk. I think that they thought that because Cody's so into his hair and his hair is such an issue all the time, that here's Christine falling in love with someone who's bald.
Well, I think, it's a big fuck you to Cody and his hair.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. But I just feel like, she just met someone.
She met someone.
My husband's bald. It's like, you don't set out to love someone who's bald. No. You just kind of meet them and you're like, okay, you're cute. I'll accept this.
Ace and Caitlin are young. Okay. Pretty much the percentage of men over 50 who are bald is quite high.
I know.
He's 59.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He just, instead of doing some weird comb over like Cody does, he decided to just be like, just shave it. You know, I much more respect that.
Yeah.
Than Cody's trickery with his hair. But anyway, so he has a construction company.
Oh, very manly. I like this.
Yes.
He seems very manly.
He's very manly.
He seems a lot like that, you know, not like Shamar Moore.
No.
But more of like that big guy, that character.
That character she liked.
Yes.
Yeah. His big, strong guy, has his own business. He's a widow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So no ex baggage. And he's the father of 8.
Ooh.
And he likes Disney.
Oh, good.
Just like Christine.
Yeah.
So I
am very happy.
I'm so
for
happy
Christine.
for her.
Christine's getting her groove back, and I am very happy for her.
She said he's very good with Truly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a grandfather. I love it. God, don't fuck with this woman. Or you know how many people are going to be after you?
Well, next, Janelle. Janelle needs to meet someone who is like really into their careers as well. I think it would be good for her to find someone that was like an intellectual match for her, but also she likes outdoors. So I think she'd like to meet someone kind of outdoorsy,
but likes
also
to camp and
and that kind of thing.
And who's also manly and can fix things and stuff. Because Cody, he never fixed anything. Everything was always fucked up, you know?
I don't know. I just watched this first episode because they kept showing pictures of them all doing yard work together outside, and Cody's like got this chainsaw and he's like cutting the tree, and just talking about how he always works with his hands because, you know, he grew up on a ranch. I mean,
I know, but do you remember when they were fleeing Lehigh and they had like 3 flat tires in the first, 15 minutes trying to get out of town? So I don't know about that. Okay, so the other big news is that, and I don't know how accurate this is, but that Christine and Janelle are in talks for a spinoff.
Ooh, so about dating.
About their lives.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, their new lives. And whatever's happening.
I like it. This is great. We have more stuff to cover.
I know. I hope this is true. You know, I have to preface all of this by saying that, I have no sources, the internet, podcasts. This is all allegedly. But, I have to say that, I've always felt like, even I remember like when I was younger, way before the internet, you go to the grocery stores and you'd see the National Enquirer or the People magazines or whatever. That's all we had back then. And you'd see these, and I'm not talking about the crazy headlines like, Bigfoot is,
Elvis lives.
Elvis is alive and all that kind of stuff. But, the gossip that you would see, usually most of it, there was a grain of truth in it.
Yeah.
Because they'd be talking about someone's relationship is on the fritz or whatever. And then lo and behold, a few months later, they're getting divorced, even though they've denied it. And they're like, oh, that's just the tabloids. There's always a little
I do think
there
are. I mean, that infamous rumor about Richard Gere, it finally came out that it was, someone blatantly made that up about him.
Yeah.
And like the Ozzy Osbourne biting their head off a bat. But I know what you're talking about, like these more subtle things of like, these two people are on the rocks and this is what this is. Yeah. That's always been there.
So I'm a sucker for this. I'm a sucker for gossip. So I always, usually kind of believe it. But okay. So, and then a lot of people are talking about, what is the fate of the show Sister Wives? Because, it's great if Christine and Janelle get these shows. I mean, they have a whole new platform they can work with.
Well, and Mary's single too. Like, why can't Mary doesn't want to go with them? Maybe not.
Mary's not very popular.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem. But like, the thing is, the show is called Sister Wives. So if you no longer have Sister Wives, well, what is the show going to be? Like, realistically, can the show really continue? And so people are saying,
oh God, it has to continue. This whole podcast is based on it.
well, season 18 has already been filmed. So there's going to be a season 18. But beyond that, I don't know. And I'm sure that Cody is very worried about his paycheck. So this is another rumor, is that, he needs to get another wife in order to continue on the show and to make it be interesting. Because no one wants to just watch him and Robin living their lives.
Yeah.
That's not going to be compelling. So the rumor is that he was, let me find where I wrote this down. Anyway, I can just say it. He was, he and Robin met a woman online who lived in South America. And
I thought these rumors were refuted. I know what you're talking about. I thought this was definitely like a no-no. Like one of the kids confirmed it. All right, keep going.
I don't know about that.
But I wouldn't put it past Cody. I would keep that paycheck going.
I would not put it past them at all. Okay. Wait. I do have a source for this. Hold on. Okay. I found a podcast. It's called the Tender Loving Care Podcast. And it's a podcast where these women review all TLC shows. And they call it Tender Loving Care because originally one of the women thought that TLC stood for Tender Loving Care.
No, it's the Learning Channel.
It's the Learning Channel. So anyway, they have a source, and this was reported in The Sun, but it originally came from them. They have a source, someone who works in production, who they've spoken to personally.
Okay.
Who said that Cody and Robin started courting a potential sister wife in December. And it was filmed for season 18. They were chatting online and by phone for 3 months before that. They met on a dating website. And so they met up with this woman. She lives in a country in South America. She's in her 20s. She's not polygamous, has no experience with this, but somehow they convinced her to meet them in Mexico.
She really wants to come to this country.
So the three of them, this woman, Cody, Robin, this woman, and the producers and a film crew went to a Mexico resort in early 2023. And the woman felt so uncomfortable, like right away, and told the producers she wanted to go home. And apparently Cody is he's completely humiliated by it. He doesn't want it to air. And he's trying to put pressure on the producers to not show it.
Interesting. Because he's being rejected again.
So I don't know if that's true or not. But, these women are saying that they talked to someone who works in production. So if it's not true, blame them. Don't blame me.
But that's really interesting. I mean, it is an interesting question of what's going to happen with the show. Because in my ideal world, I would love to see the show just go on just where it is now. Like with these characters. Like I would love to see what, Janelle and Christine dating and Christine's new relationship. And I would like to see Cody, moving logs around and getting upset by things. I think it would be more interesting to see Cody, meeting this new guy. Handing off Truly.
I doubt he would do. But see, that's the thing. But that wouldn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense for the show. Like the show, and this is always the problem, right? It's it's like the Vanderpump Rules thing. It gets no one works at that restaurant anymore, and everybody's famous now, and nobody wants to work at the restaurant. Like there is this weird thing, but they still have people working at that restaurant and showing up to kind of keep the show going because people like that. So I do think that we can still follow these people and see their lives, but still call it Sister Wives, but it's just sort of where they are now.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what you're going to have to do then is you're going to have to find one or two more women that are going to want to come in and do this. And then I just feel like then if they bring someone in, I feel like you're going to evolve. You're going to jump the shark and be like a Housewives show.
Yeah.
Because it's jump the shark.
But see, if Cody still really honestly believes in this religion.
I guess so.
And believes in polygamy. And that was one of the things he said a lot during the after tell-all and whatever. He kept saying, well, maybe polygamy doesn't work, and this is the problem with polygamy. He's trying to distance himself from polygamy. But if he honestly believes in the principle of plural marriage, you have to have at least 3 wives to get into the celestial kingdom. So it's either get another couple wives or go to hell, I guess, according to his religion. And Robin is very religious. She believes in this shit. And when she was saying, how these people had ruined her dream and, trashed her life. That's what really she's talking about is the celestial kingdom thing. So it is, if they really do believe this is a really big deal for them. And
I guess so. I guess they're going to keep, but why do you need to find someone in a foreign country? Like Utah's full of women that believe in it. Like, if you do believe in this is your church. Shouldn't the church elders be going, well, Cody, you lost a few wives, so let's help you find a few more.
Well, maybe because every woman in America hates Cody. They had to go outside.
Maybe.
Where TLC is not airing this show. But then, interestingly, so on Gwen's YouTube, somebody asked her about this. This rumor, and she said that she didn't believe it because knowing how her father feels and knowing that this woman was from South America, she didn't think that he would go for that.
Oh, which interesting.
Means he would not want to be with someone who's not white.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is very interesting.
All right.
Wow.
But we're now back to the same thing, which is everyone wants the show to keep going because it's getting really good. And that's why I understand that if we just follow these same characters, I don't know. I feel like if you do Sister Wives, I don't know if I want to see it without Christine and Janelle and even Mary. Like, I feel like Christine, Janelle, Mary, they need to be part of Sister Wives. And then if a side thing is that, Cody and Robin trying to court more women, can be part of the show.
Yeah, I guess
but I
so.
still want
That's a
them to
lot.
follow. I still want them to follow all these people and what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, and also at this point, it also depends on what the adult children are willing to do.
Yeah.
Because they were such a big part of the show. And the thing is that, like, I think the older kids, like, Madison and Aspen and whoever, Logan clearly doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But I think that the older girls were still, indulging in, coming on the show and being filmed and stuff to support their mothers because they knew that this was the income for them. But now that they're financially separate, and Cody doesn't have a relationship with any of these people, like Gwen said that he does not visit Madison or see Madison, and that he only sees the kids who he favors, who I think is like McKelty, because she keeps, defending him.
Really? But she's got this show now with Tony.
Yeah, and they're kind of
digging into some things.
Maybe something happened between the time when, McKelty went to their house with the baby and was trying to be a peacemaker.
Yeah.
Something happened between then and now that she's got a Patreon where she's interviewing her siblings about, the stuff that they had to endure. So yeah, something has changed there. And speaking of which, so McKelty interviewed Aspen recently on her Patreon. And, they were kind of talking about the role that Aspen had to play, because Aspen is 27, but she says that she doesn't want to have kids right now, not till she's like 35, but she realizes that by 35, she might not be able to have kids. She said that she tried to donate her eggs, but she didn't have enough eggs to donate.
Oh, wow. I mean, I think it's very, very interesting that the oldest son and the oldest daughter in this family have no children.
Yeah.
That Logan and Aspen don't have kids.
And she seems kind of indifferent about it. She's not like, oh yeah, I definitely want to have kids. She's sort of like, well, I'll see when I'm 35. And then she talks about how, she has felt pressured to have kids, but she and Mitch decided that they were a family and that was enough.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to have a child to be a family. They were already a family. And she talked about maybe the possibility of adoption. So she's still kind of ambivalent about it. And they talked about her parentification.
Yeah.
She talked about how one time Christine came home from work and the house was a big mess, and she got very upset with Aspen. But then they both realized that Aspen shouldn't have to have this big responsibility because she was a kid. And she said they became more specific with each other about what they needed, which that statement in and of itself, that sounds like a marriage.
Yeah. That's like a partner.
Yeah, I know. So
this is part of the Sister Wives thing, because you have one father, one husband, and he's spread so thin.
Yeah, he's not able to help.
So all the women are on their own, and they're like, well, we have all these sister wives to help. But it's like, but you keep, again, like what you were saying earlier, but if each of you only had 2 kids, maybe this would work. Because that's what I was telling. So I found on TikTok, a bunch of things from McKelty and Tony where they were interviewing Isabel, and they asked her, and she said the best part was having so many friends and family. She doesn't need to go make friends because she has all these family members, and it was really nice and people to rely on. But the flip side was there was no time or attention from the parents. I mean, she said that. And obviously Christine was a great mom, but she was there with those 12 kids. And
why is it that it doesn't seem like Christine got any of the benefits of having a sister wife? Because Christine when Christine had to go to work, there was no one available to take care of her kids. So Aspen had to do it.
Yeah.
Like, where was Mary?
Yeah. I mean,
Mary had one child.
I think Mary was working.
Okay. So, but okay. Because I got the sense that Christine worked like in the evenings or something. So how come after Janelle comes home or Mary comes home Or even Robin, once Robin came into the family, she never helped her with any of her kids. But I mean, yeah, I just feel like Christine had no help and she had to rely on Aspen. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Well,
I get the sense that's that whole thing with making food where we see Logan making food for his kids. Like, so I guess Christine, because Janelle had to leave so early, Christine had to get up, but she was only going to cook for her kids. And then, yeah, I guess you're right. And then she'd had to prepare dinner because that was the other thing Janelle said, that Christine was preparing dinner.
Yeah, Christine
what was Mary doing? That's a great question.
Christine was doing everything and she had no help from any of the other sister wives.
And Janelle was working, so that's okay, and really making money. I think that Janelle needed that job. I don't think Mary was making so much money that...
No.
But yeah, that's a good question, because what was Mary doing?
Why couldn't Mary have come over in the evening and tucked them into bed or whatever?
Or why can't Mary get up early and help?
Yeah.
Maybe not make Logan cook these stuff.
No, see, this sister wives thing is bullshit. This thing about how they help each other out, not true. It's just not. And we're hearing it straight from these kids now, you know? Anyway, that made me upset. But yeah, so she said they had to, you know, compromise. And the other thing she said was because she had to watch her siblings all the time, and this was McKelty agreed with this. Like when you have to watch because McKelty also watched the kids because she's only a year or two younger than Aspen, and because they had to watch their siblings and be responsible for it, she said it made them not really want to be friends with their siblings because they're around them, taking care of them all the time. So they didn't really have impacted their sibling relationship. And then McKelty said that during this discussion, she said that, you know, everything she does with how hard she works, you know, she has a lot of hustling that she does. And she says she's really driven by wanting her kids to have better than she did and to have the things that they want, have their own bedrooms, a childhood, toys, being able to do anything.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Tony kind of talked about the same thing that he had in his family. You know, they didn't have a lot and there was a lot of kids and not enough to go around. His brother had to quit football because they couldn't afford the uniform and the fees and the costs and all that. And so, yeah, this is not healthy. Okay, so I think that was about it from McKelty's interview. And then I did pick up some things from Toxicity. And again, I hold out hope that that thing is not a total scam and a total fake. But now they've come down to just sort of answering questions.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. And they use initials, R, M.
Yeah.
You know, K.
And it's just a blurry screen and a disguised voice. And they just answer questions that people write in.
And people, I noticed that. And I'm like, God, get better questions. Okay, we know. People keep asking the same stupid 2 questions over and over again.
But I thought, if this is true, I thought this was interesting. Like, because someone asked about, you know, does Cody care about what's online? And the person said that Cody is obsessed with what people say online, and he has burner accounts so they won't know it's him. And he's checking, you know, spying on, and he's online all day long.
Maybe he's the one that gave us the bad review.
Yeah, he says Cody is on his phone all the time. He's very vocal about what he's doing. He likes to read comments and Reddit pages out loud.
Okay,
to people.
Good and bad. Oh, just anyone.
Just to anyone who will listen, I guess.
Oh, that's like a conspiracy theorist or some, like just on the computer all day. See, they said this now. They said this now.
Yeah. Oh, and this was interesting too. They said that this is very random. Something about Mary and the cheating. They said the cheating changed the dynamic. Someone had an affair, and then they said Might have said M was already out when Robin came in, and they said, "Remember, you need 3 wives to get to the celestial kingdom."
Oh, this is interesting. Oh, that is interesting because. So, do you think that Mary cheated and this was already out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so Mary's like, okay, well, maybe I'll make nice with Cody or make nice with God or whomever's going to let her into the celestial kingdom and help him find Robin.
Yeah, but didn't she realize then that she'd get kicked to the curb?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Because that's what he did.
Yeah.
He kicked her to the curb after he got his third wife. Or
maybe she was
wife.
hoping. Maybe she was hoping that he wouldn't get kicked. She wouldn't get kicked to the curb.
Yeah, because Cody was always saying stuff like, "Well, the wives can leave, but I can't," or something like that. But yeah, and also, I think another thing that I think this came from toxicity, talking about Robin saying that she has been in this cult for so long she can't see it any other way.
Oh wow!
I think maybe Gwen might have said that. I'm not really sure, but like I was saying earlier, yeah, she really does believe this, and it is a cult. I mean, in my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Yes.
Anyway, so a couple quick things, couple more things from Gwen. When she's answering questions and commenting on the show, these are just random things, but she says she still doesn't know what Cody does for work.
And this is what he does.
But he's always talking about how he's got work to do.
Yeah, $200 an hour.
All the time.
Something, yeah.
She says she believes that Truly is doing better not being in the middle of that miserable marriage.
Well, that's good.
What is this? Oh, she said that Mary asked... Oh, wait, no. Mary said this on the show and Gwen was commenting. So Mary said that after the catfish happened, she asked Cody not to stay with her for a while because she was in such distress about everything. And that basically he never came back. And then Gwen says that, well, that's interesting because Cody pushed his way back into Christine's house so many times. But why didn't, and which makes me believe that like Christine had probably given him a lot of ultimatums and said, I'm sick of this, don't come over, don't stay here.
Yeah.
And he kept pushing his way back in, but he didn't do that with Mary.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder why.
Yeah. Oh, and there was when she was commenting on the show, Christine was saying that she was sad that her kids don't have a good relationship with their dad. And then Gwen says, well, it's not your fault. It was so sweet. She says, since watching these shows, and it's funny because Gwen clearly has never watched any of these shows. She's surprised by everything. She says her opinion of Robin is better than it used to be, but her opinion of Cody is worse.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
He says Cody only visits his favorite kids. And then someone asked if Gwen thought that Cody was into QAnon, and she said yes. What else?
Lord.
Oh, and then she thought it was so like hypocritical when, he said he refused to go to New Jersey for Isabel's surgery. He said because he couldn't be away from family. And she's like, that is your family. She's, Truly was there. Gwen was there. Hunter came for the surgery.
Oh, Hunter went for the surgery?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Because he lives in, I think, Virginia.
Oh,
it's not too far. And Christine was there. They stayed with Christine's sister. She's like, that was your family.
Yeah.
And it's like, who else is in Flagstaff other than Robin's kids? All the other kids are somewhere else. Or they were there in New Jersey. Maybe, I guess, Savannah and Gabe. I don't know. Anyway, she thought that was just terrible.
So it sounds like Gwen has no relationship with him.
Doesn't seem like it. But she's very, I mean, she clearly disagrees with him on many, many things, but she's still kind of like, she doesn't trash him necessarily. She's just giving her honest opinion. She's very matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like she calls out bullshit. When she sees bullshit, she calls out bullshit, but she doesn't attack him or anything like that. And, and then this is my last thing. Someone asked about, Cody's comment about the manosphere, remember he went in the tell-all, he was saying, well, in the manosphere,
Oh, yeah. What is that?
when men get divorced, you know, they get screwed. Well, the manosphere, I'm not sure if there's actually, this is it's sort of a concept. It's like kind of again, a QAnon-ish, right-wing-ish sort of thing of men talking on the internet about how men are just victims of, men can't get a fair share.
Because other people want equality and to be treated fairly, which means that we're not going to be number one anymore.
Yeah, and it pisses them off.
Yeah.
And
life isn't going to be easy for you the way it has been all these years.
Yeah, and Gwen was sort of like, well, I don't know about this manosphere thing. I've never heard that term, but she said he would watch right-wing conservative YouTube videos all the time.
Oh, God.
So.
Oh, geez. Oof, boy.
Okay, well,
all right.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
there's
some good stuff in there.
It's never ending.
Yes.
Thank God.
Thank God. Well, I hope the show keeps going. I hope they just, listen, these people need the money. We're entertained by them. There's enough of them that you can always spread it around. Maybe Puddle Monkey doesn't want to have, camera crews in all these different places. But it is, again, like we watch Extreme Sisters. These are stories of people in different sections of the world. It's like, why can't we watch this family unfold? Because we've been watching the unfolding all this time. That's just me.
I don't know. Whatever way they can make it happen, just make it happen.
Keep it going.
So we can keep watching.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, like we said at the top of the hour, if you've made it this far, please send us a 5-star review. You don't send it to us, but put it in. Give us this 5-star review and maybe say some kind words. And if you like this and like the show, please subscribe. Tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell all your friends. If they're also sister wives and, fans of pop culture.
Yeah.
So we talk about a lot of stuff on here.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Check out our other stuff. We have other interesting topics as well.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.